what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 Road to Glory series in 2020. Last time out, the red mist descended upon the Williams team, but also some karma got dished out as well. Virtual safety car is out again, and Gasly's made contact with us and overtaken us again. How is it? And we've now got a penalty. Are you actually kidding me? Oh yes! Oh my god, yes! Pierre Gasly's got an issue. That's karma, baby. I mean, in the end, officially, the karma didn't matter because our game broke, and so we both ended up with 0 points. But it's the little things that count. But before we carry on being mediocre in this Williams car, it's good news. Clearly, I'm moving up in the world. The channel is going places because this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a dark fantasy RPG game which is free to play on both mobile and PC and is cross-play as well. So you can use my links down below to download it, whichever one you might prefer. When you first start the game, there are a few different character factions to choose from, ranging from orcs that I'm sure make the Williams F1 car look pretty. I mean, just look at them. And then some pretty mean looking knights. I went for the high elves. I'm not gonna lie, just purely for that, it's got a sick bow and arrow setup going on. I mean, I always love those in fantasy RPG games when I play them outside of the racing games we play on this channel. And more so, I found the Valley of Death attack also to be pretty sick as a finishing move on opponents. Now, you guys know we're doing a Road to Glory on the channel. This game essentially is its own Road to Glory as you kind of build your way up and get through the levels to try and battle your way up to the top. You can also enter tournaments as well to really challenge yourselves, competing against the whole raid community, fighting the Spider's Den, Ice Golem's Peak, the Almighty Fire Knight, or the Notorious Dragon in order to win better and more rare rewards and items. Clearly from the gameplay you're seeing on screen right now, I'm going to be at level 99 in no time. The new addition to the game also is an arena mode where you can earn points according to your tier and get more rewards in the local and global tournaments. My in-game nickname is GaslyFan7 because, you know, I just had to get that meme in here somehow. But you can find me via that. You can support my channel by downloading the game using the links below. And if you're a new player, you can get some exclusive items in a welcome pack, which includes 500,000 silver, 50 gems, 10 mystery shards, and a free awesome champion, the Executioner, which I'm not going to lie, he looks a little bit suspect, but it's probably going to be a good thing when it comes to these battles, let's be fair. So you can get him, and it's free for bonus as well. You can find those extra rewards in your inbox on the top right here, and those are available for the next 30 days, though, so be quick about it. So thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our own Road to Glory action here in the world of Williams. So in theory, this episode should be pretty good for us. So, you know, we've got that long back straight at COTA where our car can be exploited to the max with the engine power we've got. And this episode is quite an important one because technically we could win the Constructors' Championship for Williams. Obviously, the main thing we're focused on when we talk about the glory we're trying to achieve is the Drivers' Championship, but the Constructors is still a massive thing, of course. And myself and Gasly, although we've had our differences this season and clearly have come to wars, as you saw last episode, we've been working well as a unit, I guess, to be quite consistent. And so it's great to see we could technically round out with 3 races to go. We've come a long way from season 1, you know, where the car was pretty much useless, 3 seconds off the pace. Then season 2, where it was still pretty bland at times, but had some shimmers of hope, and at times it was almost like someone did strap a literal rocket ship onto an IKEA desk that's painted like a toothpaste can. But now we're here, we're World Championship materials. Hopefully in that kind of sense, for the team at least, everything goes smoothly and nothing comes at, oh, well, that's just ruined that, hasn't it? I could have guessed. It was all too good, actually. Well, I started that speech, it was all going too well. Of course, there was something that was going to come up and crop up. It's raining for the entire race. That's just a very depressing sight, isn't it? Qualifying time, then at least we can take some joy about driving this circuit in the dry. This is the last time we'll get to this entire race weekend, so let's make the most of it. And you can see into turn 1, barreling down into the main heart of Sector 1 in P2 right now. Gasly P1, but we are going to take that first place as we swing through these corners. Pretty decent in the first sector, although that's where it kind of ends. Sector 2 was decent with the long back straight, but then Sector 3 was actually way more of a nuisance than I thought Sector 1 was going to be in terms of the downforce levels we had to navigate these corners. You can see we're down to P4, so we swing through the triple right-hander rather. The Ferrari gets up into first place. Leclerc doing a decent job. The Ferrari's looking strong. I imagine Verstappen might be in there as well in the Red Bull car. Don't know where Gasly is now at this stage. We're through into the last corner, down to P5. Verstappen goes across, and you know, it's Leclerc on the line that gets pole, but we finish up in P5.
Excellent lap. We're really pleased.
I think we can be pretty happy with that qualifying. Like I said, I thought we were going to be a lot worse in Sector 1, and considering where Gasly is in P3, not too far ahead of us, that's alright, but obviously it's a completely different story then as we move on to Sunday, and the entire race, it's flipped on its head. It's raining, as you can clearly see. It's going to be raining the entirety of today's race, so it'll be a pretty... well, grim reading, I would say, usually, but there is some slight hope, you know. Remember back to the Austrian Grand Prix where it was raining for most of that race as well. I thought we weren't going to go well then. Our car was actually pretty okay. So, you know, like I said, as we just said a few minutes ago, this car's come a long way since Season 1, so it's not exactly just a boat anymore, you know, on the... I mean, that would actually be quite useful, to be fair. It's not a boat in the water. It maybe is now a boat in the water in terms... It's quite good in these conditions, in a sense, as long as I can get the traction sorted, which is a big ask, to be honest, but as long as we can get that sorted, I think we'll be okay, especially in Sector 2, to maybe make some passes, I hope, to obviously try and limit the damage if we can, or overtake Gasly and Verstappen, who are now only, what is it, I think 6 or 8 points, and 8 points respectively behind us, due to the whole game-breaking issue last episode. In terms of the strategy, as you would imagine, having a whole wet race, it is pretty boring, just a zero stop, unless there's a major issue for us, but I really hope not. I don't fancy coming to the pit lane this afternoon, so we're raring to go. And after last time out, that was a whirlwind, but in the end we came our way with no points, so I'm actually really raring to go and hoping to try and outscore and put ourselves in a much more comfortable position come the championship for the last 2 rounds. But remember, also, away from us personally, we could actually seal out the championship for Williams, which would be a massive thing, so that's also one thing we need to push for both myself and Gasly, to be fair. So let's put aside our rivalries and try and do well for the team today. So here we go then, towards 5 red lights, the 3rd last race of this season, and a chance to seal the Constructors' Championship for Williams. 5 red lights are out, and we're underway, and it's actually a very good start compared to Sebastian Vettel there on the left-hand side, and a pretty decent one for Gasly as well. He goes round the outside to try to get P3. We've been re-overtaken by Vettel, taking it easy though on the outside line. Yellow flags behind, and the full-core safety car has come out once again, and we've not even made it past turn 1 this time though. Looks like we've gained a position under under the yellows, because I've overtaken Gasly there up into P4. I spoke far too soon. What is this? Oh, come on. For a second there, I thought that karma was fully going to come back to us and that we would be able to make an illegal overtake. That is not illegal in the eyes of the FIA there, but no, they've actually told me to give the position back to Gasly. This is why the full safety car came out though. Behind me, Kvyat, ironically, torpedoing towards the turn 1 and took out that Racing Point car and also a few others with him. So 5 DNFs in one corner there on lap 1, and so we only got 15 runners, but of course our job does not change. We're still here in P5 then. We've now got Gasly ahead of us, so in the end of it, Vettel was the one who gained out mostly in that safety car period, having overtaken both of us under effective yellows in a way. I think he kind of snuck by Gasly as we went into that safety car period, but now we're back going green once again on lap number 4, so, you know, we've already lost 2 laps of this Grand Prix, which is a fabulous thing to be honest. Less laps in the rain in this car, the better. So, you know what, if, you know, the drivers around me, if you want to crash again and cause a second safety car, I wouldn't complain one bit. So, if you can do that, yeah, I wouldn't mind. So, we're now going forward then, trying to catch up to Pierre Gasly, and in the brake zone, making a very late lunge down the inside there, and we actually make it work. I had no intention of overtaking Gasly there, but under braking, he just went so slow for some reason. The closing speed was far too much for me to I had to either make the move or crash into him, and so we decided to make the move, and you can see here, on board with Gasly, he locked up as well, which helped us out, because it meant that he didn't turn in as early as he would have done. But you saw it was so fine between his front wing and my rear end there, so got very lucky indeed. So maybe the F1 gods are looking down upon us, and maybe this is a sign of good things to come, that this is the day for not only me but for Williams potentially, and we will go on to seal this Constructors' Championship. We've got a long way to go still, only lap 6 here, 14 laps in total, and still maybe some moves to go on, because we're actually catching up and pressurizing Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari down the main straight. No DRS, remember, in the wet, but it doesn't matter. Look how quick our car is. Vettel goes defensive to the inside. We go to the outside there. Easy does it under braking. Very close on the front left there. Vettel's still jockeying for position, but on the exit, we get the power down early, and we're up into P3. And like was the case in Austria, like I mentioned just before the race, our car is actually not that bad. It's okay. It's a little bit iffy sometimes in the corners in Sector 1 and Sector 3, but generally speaking, as long as I can try and hang on to the back of these these cars, I can get that slipstream, which is so powerful, as you can clearly see as we waltz past our one and only other championship rival in the standings, Max Verstappen, up into P2, then already maybe putting pressure onto the race leader Leclerc, who goes a little bit defensive there, so maybe he's feeling the pressure. And like was the case in Austria, we're charging forwards towards potentially fighting for the race win. So let's go for it. I mean, we pressurise Vettel as there's yellow flags though, again. And my prayers have got answered. Everyone heard me earlier on. There's been another crash between Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. And so a second safety car has been called out. And this is, that's just the most questionable crash fixes I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure Lando hit Daniel Ricciardo's rear right tyre and that exploded his front wing. So, as ever, top tier stuff from this game. Can't deny it. But that's just helping us out even more. That's a further 2 laps under the safety car. The second one, that is. So, in total, I think we've missed out about 4 or 5. Because I think 5 if you count lap 1 as well. Plus the 2 there for that first safety car period. So, we're only going to do 9 full racing laps of this Grand Prix. Which is fantastic news for us in terms of trying to keep this P2, although off the restart there, the tyres very cold. Leclerc was very eager to bunch us up at the restart and then bolted quite early, so into turn 1, a little bit cold on the front tyres and the rears, to be fair as well, on the traction-wise. So we go down the hill, Verstappen right on my neck there, and we're a little bit wide on the line, and Verstappen holds it through on the right-hand side. He's going to try and go for it there, and we are having to drift through the S section, and we're still side by side with Verstappen. I'm looking behind me, looking ahead of me, trying to see where his car is. I haven't actually seen his car properly in my peripheral vision here. When only now can we see it fully, but this entire time blind driving and giving him room that I hope he kind of needs, or I think he needs, because he was still side by side with it. So we somehow survived that, and we're still maintaining the P2, but now you can see this massive train forming behind us, as for some reason the tyres just completely stopped working here on this second restart. So we've got 3 laps to go, not including this one, and right now that's actually seeming like a mountain to climb, because now you've got Verstappen and Vettel side by side trying to slipstream me, but then also look in the background there comes Pierre Gasly out of nowhere on the right hand side of your screen, down the inside, the double dive bomb, and Gasly is gonna make that work. What a move from Gasly. I'm gonna put aside our differences because this is quite crucial. This could seal out the Constructors' Championship for us there. Gasly with 2 overtakes in 1. Beautiful stuff there. It's a 2-3 for Williams now. Gasly though is now looking ominously maybe at overtaking me. We go very defensive to the inside there. He's so close to making some contact with us on the right hand side, so very hairy indeed. So obviously Gasly's no love lost between us in terms of from his perspective trying to ruin my day and trying to take the P2 away from us. But if we can just maintain this, please, Pierre, P2 and 3, that should actually get us the championship. So here we are then on the last lap of the Grand Prix. It's going to be another attempt for Gasly, I think, here on the main straight. He's got some decent amount of speed. I haven't compromised too much on my setup in terms of the wings, but he just looks very quick in a straight line for some reason compared to myself, even with overtake mode and rich mix engaged. So he's going to try to the inside there. We block him off a little bit cheekily, kind of late move to go defensive there, but it works out for us. And so now we've just got to get this nice and calmly through the last sector, as there's another crash at that same corner, that Norris and Ricciardo crash. It's going to be Hulkenberg out of the Grand Prix, I think that was, as we literally drift through that stadium portion of this circuit there in P2. Only 12 runners now, 8 DNFs, 2 safety cars, reign the entire race. It's been quite a chaotic one and quite a fitting race in a way, I guess, with that amount of chaos to maybe come through the last 2 corners of this GP after 3 seasons to seal out the Constructors' Championship for Williams Racing. We have achieved Constructors' glory today at the USA Grand Prix.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you.
And once again, no surprise, Jeff just does not have an appropriate reaction. He said top job, but it wasn't exactly ecstatic. You know, if we look back at IRL, when Gasly got a podium in Brazil, do you remember how mad he went? And yeah, we've won a Constructors' Championship with Williams. And he's not got absolutely ballistic and is shouting. I mean, if that's not going to make him happy, I don't know what will.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. It's looking like a winner has emerged in the championship. Is it in the bag?
Oh, to be honest, Claire, you asked me about my championship. I'm surprised you're not questioning me about the team win. Does no one care? Let me repeat that. Williams just won the Constructors.
Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
Fair play. You know what? At least she got the weather right today. You know, this time she's not asking me about the wet weather when it was completely bone dry. So, you know, I'll just go, you know, adds a bit of spice to our lives, of course. It was a nice way to seal the championship in probably the most undesirable conditions for our team.
Appreciate your time.
Alright, so Jeff and Claire may not have any fanfare for winning the Constructors, but here we are. That is it. You have won the Constructors World Championship. We've done it with Williams. 3 seasons it's taken us to get to this point, to achieve this part of the glory. But of course, it's not over. The main part of F1 Road to Glory is winning that big one, the Drivers' World Championship. This is where the money is, I'll admit, for the team. But when have the team ever cared about me and what I want? And refocus ourselves, because we've still got 2 rounds to go, and it's still all to play for between myself and Pigassi. But we have done the impossible. We have taken this car from rock bottom right to the top. So it's got to be celebrated. Guys, if you did enjoy that episode, and if you've been on this journey with me since the very beginning, be sure to smash the like button. We have actually won it. I can't, like, if you remember back to Season 1, how slow this car was on the previous F1 game as well. We've spanned 2 different F1 games for this series as well. We've gone through multiple really horrendous races where the car was literally nowhere in the corners, in the straight line. I have lost count of how many crashes we've seen in this series. Far too many to count. But to say we've come all the way from there, and what was now, I think, well over a year, more than a year ago now. Like, I think maybe a year and a half ago when we started this series, perhaps. But we've done it. We won the Constructors, but like I said, half the job done. Next half still to come in the last 2 episodes. But if you did enjoy that, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly, full-on content. I've been aarava. Hope you guys enjoy this day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.